In this video, I'm going to be talking about how international students can get professional part-time jobs in Canada with absolutely no experience, and also why minimum wage jobs suck.
Coming in, yeah, flex, I just wanna win.
Hi there, international students. My name is Z, also God's messenger for international students. If you're new to the channel, I make the best videos for international students who are planning on coming to Canada. I also make some vlogs here and there. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time to subscribe because for every subscription, I'm gonna give you an iPhone 12 Pro. If you have subscribed, comment below and let me know. Today's video is an exciting one for me because I'm really passionate about this topic as to how to get jobs in Canada as an international student, and really not minimum wage jobs, but professional jobs. Based on the past 6 years of experience in Canada, I mastered the process of getting jobs as a student and even post-graduation. And what I'm about to share with you today is not really the technical details. That doesn't get you too far. It's really the strategy. My strategy helped me stand out as an international student, helped me get in front of the right people, experience the right things so I could pursue the career that I wanted and get the jobs that I needed to get in order to get my post-graduation work permit. And then after, of course, pursue the career of my dreams. Why should you listen to me? Well, check out some of my past videos. You will see the lifestyle that I've got to live. Check out my Instagram, the things I've done. You can also go into my LinkedIn profile to see the jobs I have worked at over the past 4 years. You'll notice I worked as a manager at every job level that I got into. And I did all that as an international student. And now I'm currently working as a national marketing manager for a commercial real estate company right after graduation. And the purpose of this video is to make you believe that you can do the same for yourself. You can get amazing jobs after you come to Canada. Everyone who tells you that you can't, they just don't know. And I'm here to tell you that you can get those kind of jobs. The one thing I want you to take away from this video is that confidence. I want you to go away knowing that you can do it for yourself when you come to Canada. You can achieve the career of your dreams when you come to Canada, and within a very short period of time if you apply the right strategy. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video today. Now, let's cover the basics. When you first come to Canada as an international student, you need a few things to get started working. So here are the things you need. First, you need to get your SIN number, which is your social insurance number. Then you need to open a bank account. And of course, if you have the right study permit, it will allow you to work 20 hours per week during your study period, and during your semester breaks, you can work full-time. You see, most international students underestimate themselves because they think they are international students, they're from a different country, and they might not have the same opportunity as Canadians. Here's the thing, because you are from a different country, you have that advantage. You have perspectives on life that Canadians don't, and that's what helps you stand out as a candidate when you're applying for jobs. But starting over in a new country is of course not as easy as you think. So if you want to get jobs, you need to understand how the process works here first. But with the right mindset and strategy, there are going to be lots of opportunities available to you. I get tons of students messaging me all the time. Hey, are there going to be opportunities in this field? Are there going to be opportunities in that field? Guess what? There are 30 million people in Canada, and it's a massive country. There are over thousands of businesses. In Ottawa itself, where I live, there's over 5,000 businesses. And if you're one international student, do you think there's not going to be a single job for you? There are always opportunities out there, and you just have to get in front of the right opportunity at the right time. Throughout this video, you're going to learn exactly that. The best part of all this is that I have an exciting news to share with you guys. In a few weeks, I'll be sharing with you an ebook called 14 Steps to Becoming an International Student in Canada. This is a book where I poured my heart into for you guys. I've been working super hard for the past 2 months to share all the information that I know and the strategies that I've applied in Canada in order to become successful. No agencies and no counselors will be able to share this with you. The most important part of this book is not only the technical details, but the strategies that I shared that will help you make choices even before you come to Canada, which is going to help you become successful here. So comment below if you want to be the first person to get it. Now that you know what you need in order to get started working in Canada, you have to understand how the job process works. As an international student, you can work either on campus or off campus. Now, if you're working on campus, you could either work in a minimum wage job or get a professional job. And the same thing applies for off campus as well. Now, in this video, I don't want to highlight too much of the minimum wage job because I don't preach it. I don't want international students to work at minimum wage jobs. I personally don't recommend you to do that at all. My channel, my brand is all about achieving better things. I want you to achieve the best for yourself, and that's through professional jobs. I want you to have the career that you want, and I can bet on it that no international student wants to work at a minimum wage job. Listen, people will tell you that minimum wage jobs are okay to work at, but they're lying to you. They don't want to look like the bad person. I'm willing to look and sound like the bad person just to tell you the truth that minimum wage jobs don't add any value either to your resume or to your life in a way that you can grow your career down the road. So coming back to the types of jobs you can get. On campus, if you want to apply for a professional job, here's the strategy you have to apply. Don't even get to applying first. Think what you need and what you have to do in order to get a job. First of all, you gotta fix your mindset. Most international students have their mindset in the wrong place. They start applying for jobs thinking that they're not gonna get it. For example, you apply to 10 or 20 different jobs just because you think you're not gonna get the first one that you applied for. If you shift that mindset of the fact that you think you're not gonna get the first job you apply for and you approach every job that you apply for thinking that you're gonna get it, you're gonna get the first job that you apply for. Hope that makes sense. Moral of the story, when you apply for a job, have a get it mindset. You wanna go and get it. Even if it's the one job that you applied for, have that mindset, 100% be committed to it that you're gonna get it no matter what. You will do whatever it takes to get that job. Don't take your eyes off that prize. Now that you have your mindset in the right place, you have to put the right strategy in place. If you're looking for professional jobs on campus, you have to identify what are the professional jobs first. Here are some examples of professional jobs you can get on campus. You could be working with official departments of the university, you could be working with student associations, you could be working with residences, or you could land a co-op placement based on your grades. Now that you know what job you want, you have to map out how you want to get that job. You need to get in front of the right person who's hiring for that job that you want. So you have to do whatever it takes to make sure you make an impression with that person. It's crucial that you have experience before you graduate from your program as an international student. If you graduate with no professional work experience, you're going to extend the time that it takes you to actually land the job that you want and that will qualify you for your permanent residency in Canada. Most international students wait till they graduate to apply for jobs. They think if they do well in their exams or their education and they graduate with good grades, they think somehow they're gonna land amazing jobs. That never happens. I want to tell you this story about an international student friend of mine. 4 years ago, in our second year, when I was all over the place, I was super involved, I was out there, I wasn't focusing on my studies a lot. On the other side, he was an all-star student. He was on the dean's list, his grades were A+, he was top of the class. That night, he told me something. He was like, Z, you should not get out there as much. He told me that I should focus on my studies more and that I should really ace my courses. And here's something interesting he told me that night. He told me that once he graduates, because of his grades and because of his stellar record, employers would be lining up to give him jobs. Guess what happened? He graduated and for 1 year, he didn't get a job in Ottawa, plus he had to move to a different city and still not get jobs. He almost left the country. On the other side, I graduated and I had a job that I wanted, that I dreamt of, that I loved, and I joined as a national marketing manager at a global company. That's why it's so important to build experience before you graduate. Not only also to land your dream job, but to qualify for your residency. You don't want to graduate and end up frustrated because you're not being able to get a job because other people are more qualified, especially Canadians, because they have been here for a while. They have more experience than you. So your priority should always to get somehow some experience, professional experience on your resume so that when you graduate, you already have something to propose to employers. Now that you know what type of job you want to get, you have to find out even if there are jobs available within that department. So where do you find these job openings? You have to go on the campus job board to see what department is offering what type of job. Your work is not done yet. Then you have to go find out who's the person who's hiring for that job. That's where the strategy comes in. You have to do whatever it takes to get in front of that person. You have to create a plan to get in front of that person and make a solid impression. If they don't have the contact information of the person who's hiring for that position on that job post, look at the department of that job role. Then what you're gonna do is go into your university or college employee directory by department and try to identify who could be the person in charge of that department. That's the person you wanna get in front of. Now, of course, you're just a student. You don't have experience, right? Here's the trick. You have to get in touch with that person and you call them. And you're gonna tell them, hey, listen, I came across this job post online and I'm interested in this position. And I was wondering if you guys hire students. What you're really trying to do is make an impression here. You want them to know you. You want them to know that you exist. And then of course the person's gonna tell you if they hire students or not. Let's say they say, okay, we don't hire students, then you have to ask the person, is there any job position available for students in your department? What would it take to get involved in your department? Of course, the person is going to love your passion and interest in that department, and they're going to give you that information as to what you need. So you don't give up on the fact that they don't hire students. You ask them, what would it take you to get involved? Let's say they say, okay, we do hire students. Then you ask them, okay, what kind of skills do you look for? I looked in the job description and I saw this responsibility. Can you tell me a little more about what this would involve? When the recruiter sees that you're interested and you want to know more about this and you're trying to identify if that job is even the right fit for you, they think you're a solid candidate. That's the kind of impression you want to make. You don't want to be coming off as the person who needs an opportunity desperately. You kind of want to act like you want to see if this collaboration would be in the best interest for both parties. That's what you want to communicate. You want to ask the recruiter, hey, I think this would be a great opportunity for me to get involved in. Would you mind if I send you my resume? Here, you're asking for the permission of the recruiter. Of course, when they give you that permission, they feel obliged to check your resume. You can follow up with that person because they're the ones who asked you to send that resume at that point. One thing I want to kind of clear off is most international students prefer working in co-op placements. Co-op placements are great because your university or college is placing you in that. But also not all international students can land co-op placement just because it's really hard to maintain those grades. Now that brings me to my next point, which is off-campus placements. So those international students who don't qualify for co-op placement because of their grades, don't lose hope. You can still get amazing jobs off campus. Now, what kind of off-campus jobs can you get? Of course, the minimum wage jobs would involve being a cashier somewhere, working at a gas station, or being a server. Or professional jobs include you working with a bank, or entry-level professional jobs in the field that you're studying in. Now, of course, in the beginning of this video, I promised you how you can land professional jobs with no experience. The best way to go about that is in your first week of university or college, there's always going to be this one career fair where there's going to be lots of employers that come to your institution to hire students. They come in to hire students with no experience. So you don't have to worry about having experience. They know that you don't have experience. So all you have to do is make sure you meet them and make a great impression. The best way to go about that is, let's say you meet an employer at the event itself. Before even approaching them, just take a minute and look at their banner, get the name of the company, go on Google and research their company for a quick minute. See if you like the company first. Don't approach them if you don't like the company because it will show. Look at what you really liked about that company and then walk up to that person. Ask them, hey, I'm interested in what you guys offer. I actually looked it up on internet just now and I love the products or the services that you guys sell. What kind of opportunities are you guys offering students right now? And then the person will tell you what kind of roles they're looking for. Then pick one and tell them why you would be a good fit for that role based on what you know about yourself. Then the person might ask you, okay, what kind of skill sets do you have that you think would apply for that? This is where you have to know yourself really well. So do your homework sometime. After watching this video, take a piece of pen and paper and write down what are the skill set that you have that can add value to a certain company. And you need to make sure you have that answer prepared. You don't have to talk about the past experience you have because these guys are hiring students with no experience. Another way to approach off-campus jobs is basically by applying on job sites like Indeed, Monster, or LinkedIn. You find job opportunities, but again, don't just send in your resume. First, you have to find the person responsible for hiring for that position, and then you make the same kind of impression that I just told you about. But this time it's going to be a little tricky because this kind of jobs needs you to have experience. If you have, luckily, some experience from back home, if you're already an international student who's watching this from your own country, try to get into a job right now so that you can have some experience. So what you're gonna do is once you come here, you're actually gonna use that in your resume and you're gonna try to make it look all pretty. Don't underestimate the experience that you have back home. Every employer here values whatever experience that you have. So what you have to do is sell your experience that you already had back home. But here's something that you have to do. For the role that you're looking to apply for, go on YouTube, take one day and research everything about that role that you need to know. The mistakes around that role, the responsibilities around that role, what do recruiters look for hiring for that role. You want to look up a day in the life of any person in that role. Then you will understand what really is involved around that role. Because you have done your research on that role, you can have an intelligent conversation with that recruiter. And that's how you can make a good impression on that recruiter if you don't have any experience. So if you have that experience from back home, Your goal is to make sure that it kind of matches the Canadian job experience type. You have to make sure that it's relevant to the kind of role you're applying for, and you have to really sell it. You have to show that that experience that you had back home matters. Even if it was a simple customer service representative job, you want to make sure that when you're pitching that job, you want to align it with the responsibilities of that job opportunity that you're applying for. But what if you had no experience back home? Then of course, you're not going to apply for a managerial level job, right? Of course, you can fake it till you make it. I did that. I'm not going to share that story today, but you can also come off super humble. Listen, at the end of the day, these recruiters are people. So you have to call them and tell them, listen, I don't have much skills. I'm just starting out as a student, but I already worked on some projects in my class. And these projects help me gain these kind of skills. Now, to show you a little example of a video that I did with a sales manager before, where I asked him, how would he justify hiring someone with no experience? This is the video.
And if your first impression is sending someone a resume, you're basically going to look darn similar to everyone else applying. If your first encounter with the company is a phone call with CEO, you automatically put yourself in a spot, because you're the only one with the courage to call.
Exactly.
And you could Z, you did amazing on that phone call, because you knew things, you had intelligent questions. They were more related to what we wanted from digital marketing rather than what our company was all about, but they were intelligent questions. So, if I was going to tick boxes here, I'd say phone call rather than an email, or a resume dropped on a website. That's a tick. Next, smart questions, apparently much more than just a guy saw my number on a billboard, someone who's thought about this a lot and has questions. That's another big tick. And those were the things, well, I say the third piece that really hit it out of the park for us, and that might be harder for your audience to do, but you had already done something in your past that sounded to me like useful skills.
Yeah.
And your history with video production and doing some work, you were already doing some social media stuff for your own company, your own little company. Yeah. And as soon as I heard that you were already exploring how to benefit using social media as an advertising vehicle, I immediately thought, well, this guy's he's already there. He's got a program, he's doing this for his own ventures, and so those are the three tick boxes, like clearly experienced, clearly smart questions, and the courage to pick up the phone.
To give you an example of how to find the right person, let's say on LinkedIn you find a job opportunity. Of course, it's going to mention the name of the company. What you're going to do is go on that search bar and type in the company name. Then you go into their employees section and you want to find the recruiter within that department. If they don't have a recruiter, what you're going to do is you're going to find the manager of that department, and then you're going to try to send them a message or find their emails and write them an email on how you're interested to apply for that job. Now, what's going to happen 99% of the time, you're not going to get a response. Here is how you can make another impression. What you're going to do is go on Google, find the company name, find their corporate phone number. You call that number, you're going to get in touch with the receptionist. Then you're going to tell the receptionist that, hey, I found this job opportunity online that's posted. Who would be the right person to get in touch with who's hiring for that role? The person is going to give you the name. And then you're going to probably ask, can you direct me to that person? The receptionists usually try to be the gatekeeper. They don't want to forward you to that person. If they forward you, good for you. But if they don't, you're going to take down the name of that person. If the receptionist gives you the phone number, that's great. If she doesn't give you the phone number, just basically take the name, take their email. Now, what you want to do is call back after a few days. But this time you don't act like the same person. All you do is say, can you forward me to the person, please? And you just mention the first name. Don't mention the full name of that recruiter. What this shows is that you know this person on a first name basis. So they're just gonna forward you to that person. Guess what? You just got in touch with that person. These are the simple hacks that I use to land opportunities that I did in Canada. In order to do all of this, of course, you need a resume template and an email template. I think I've kind of mastered that email and resume template because I was a recruiter before, but I'm going to share it with the ebook that's coming out. So keep an eye out for that. You see, the reason why I'm only sharing strategies today because all the technical details are included in that ebook that I'm going to share with you. If I were to share the technical details now with you, you're going to forget it in a second. Strategy is the most important part. The technical details, you can of course get it anywhere, but in my ebook, it's all in one place and it's in the best way possible. So wait for that ebook. Trust me, it's not going to disappoint you. Two powerful elements that's gonna land you jobs in Canada faster than anything is networking and learning how to get in front of the right people. I'll give you two stories. The first one is about how I landed my first professional job in Canada. Of course, I was working all over the place on campus, but I was also able to land off-campus jobs. There was one time I went to an entrepreneurship conference at the University of Ottawa. It was a conference where students from the business faculty were pitching their business ideas. I was an engineering student. What was I doing there? I wanted to check out the coolest events happening on campus, and it would be an opportunity for me to meet new people. But there was one person I met in that event, and I found out he was a student at U Ottawa as well. I asked that person, hey, where do you work? And then he told me that he works for this one credit card company where his responsibility is to go sell credit cards to students. And of course, out of curiosity, I told him, would you be able to connect me with your boss by any chance if they're hiring? I'm a great sales guy, I love sales, and I think I would love this job. The next day, he didn't send it to his boss. Maybe he forgot. I texted him, hey, I was just wondering if you had a chance to forward my phone number to your boss. And of course, he recalled that and he forwarded my number to his boss. And within 3 days, I got a call from his boss. And I had a quick phone interview, and the next thing I know, I was hired. I was hired probably because I'm a sales guy, I know how to make the right impression, but of course, for your field, you know what to do best, right? You will create out a strategy as to what would recruiters look for, and you need to master that game, how you can sell yourself as the best candidate for the role that you want. That's how you're gonna get any job that you want. Next thing I want to share with you is how I approached the right person and ended up creating an opportunity for myself. When you're in a university or college, your faculty directors will always keep sending you emails regarding student job opportunities, and these are professional job opportunities. So in my third year, I came across this job opportunity to work with a commercial real estate company as a social media coordinator. It was an internship position for 3 months. I looked at that job role, and of course, I didn't just fix my resume. I right away called the number that was on the job description. I luckily got in touch with the person who was charged of hiring for that position. That phone call went over 30 minutes because I asked everything about the job role. I got curious. I didn't call to just tell the person that I'm gonna send in my resume. I really tried to show that I was trying to identify if that job was the right thing for me. I was asking them questions regarding that job role, if they were doing something like this or that, what were their expectations out of the candidate for that job role, and that really made the person think, okay, this candidate kind of knows what he or she is talking about. So that's why they like me. And of course, I did a 3-month internship that ended up being a 6-month internship, and then I had to leave, of course, because I was trying to focus on other things. But before my graduation, 6 months before, I realized that I needed a full-time job at a company if I wanted to stay in Canada to qualify for my permanent residence. Guess who I called? The same employer. So I called up the managing principal and I told him that, hey, listen, I have a plan based on the past few years of experience that I have. I think I can really add value at this one spot. I can really help market your company digitally to all of North America. And I said, let's meet over coffee and let me present this plan to you. And that's how you keep adding to your portfolio. Guess what? I did all of that for the first 4 years. When I graduated, I had already 4 professional positions on my resume. That's all you need to land a high-paying job after you graduate, a job that you're gonna be happy working at, and it's not gonna be an entry-level job, and you're set. Listen, I wanna help you out. Comment below as to what interview questions you find really hard answering, and I'll try my best to get back to you on that, or even make another video with all the questions that you mentioned in the comments that are challenging in an interview. And lastly, minimum wage jobs. Listen guys, I'm not totally against minimum wage jobs. Listen, at the end of the day, some of you may not have the financial resources to just come to Canada and have enough money saved to keep chasing professional jobs, because honestly, it takes time to land professional jobs. Maybe at least 2 months. But in those 2 months period, you of course maybe need to support yourself. Those are the kind of situations you settle for minimum wage jobs. Situations like you need money fast for a short period of time, you don't have a professional job yet, that's when you want to settle for minimum wage jobs. But don't let it be permanent. Most international students, they get a minimum wage job and they start living comfortably. They earn that money, they start hanging out with their friends and not spend any time on looking for professional jobs. That being said, I'll also share a story where I actually worked a minimum wage job once as well. There was a time I had only 3 months before I left the country and I needed some money. So I didn't want to get a professional job, do all the hard work to get a professional job only for 3 months just to quit it after. So I actually settled for working as a cashier at a grocery store, and I did that. But guess what? As soon as I came back to Canada, I didn't go back to that job. I started looking for a professional job, and that's when I landed a massive job in my 3rd year, which is as an account manager for a global talent recruitment firm. To get a minimum wage job, you don't really need that much experience. All you really have to show is that you're available. So when you're looking for a minimum wage job, try to look for one around your campus because you don't want to put too much pressure on your studies. You got to basically find the store that you want to work at, go in, hand in your resume to the manager. The thing is, they're not even going to take a look at your resume. All you have to really communicate to the person is that you're available at all times, you don't have that many classes, you live around the campus so that you can easily come to that location. And also you kind of want to tell them that you like the environment of that place because you go there often, you like the staff members already, and that you would enjoy working there. And that's how you get a minimum wage job. All right, recap. Now I know I told you a lot today, I talked a lot, but okay, recap. So first, you gotta get your mindset right. You need to make sure that you apply for jobs, you approach jobs with the mindset that you're gonna get it no matter what. Second, identify what kind of job you're trying to go for. On campus or off campus? Are you looking for a minimum wage job or are you looking for a professional job? Then apply for the right strategy. 2 key elements to getting jobs: networking and finding the right person who's in charge of hiring for the position that you're trying to apply for. And get creative trying to get in front of these people. You want to make sure that you can make a solid impression on the person because guess what? If you want to really work for that company and there's any chance you can show that to that person, they will hire you. Lastly, even though if you're approaching jobs with that mindset that you're going to get it, at the end of the day, it's still a numbers game. You want to make sure that you reach out to enough companies that you can expect a response, right? Let's say a company is not hiring, so are you just going to wait till they hire? That's where you get into the realm of creating opportunities for yourself. You reach out to so many companies that at the end, there will be so many opportunities coming at you, which ends up with you being in the driving seat and you take charge of where you go. Lastly, get involved. You want to make sure people know you for what you do. If nobody knows you for what you do, no one's going to hand you an opportunity. You got to tell people what you're good at, else they're not going to know what you're good at. As usual, I want to end this video on an inspirational note where I really want you to look at getting professional jobs as an opportunity as an international student. You just came into this new country. This is an opportunity for you to get new perspectives, really grow your skill set. It's not only about earning money. Of course, professional jobs help you make money and add some experience to your resume, but of course there is a bigger picture attached to it. Getting a professional job as an international student early on helps instill value in you that makes you a better person in the long run. For example, after I've worked in multiple professional jobs, I learned how to effectively communicate. I became a better person. I became a better leader. I learned how to manage teams. I learned how to manage my time. I learned how to meet expectations and deliver results that matter. And there's a whole list of skill sets that I've achieved after working in multiple professional jobs and getting exposed to different environments. That's what you really want, and that's what I want for you. The reason I've created this channel is to actually show you a different perspective of the life international students can live. I believe traditionally international students live the same life where they just graduate, get a simple job, and live an average life. For me, I wanted to experience life in a different way. I wanted to live the life that I always dreamt of. If you have big dreams, make it happen when you come to Canada. This is your opportunity. That being said, I hope you found something helpful in this video and learn a few things that you can apply when you're in Canada. There's going to be lots of other tips that I'm going to be sharing in my upcoming videos. And hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned to the best information and the best resources for international students who are planning on coming to Canada. From an ex-international student, I care a lot about your success, and you gotta do whatever it takes to make it happen for yourself. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you when I see you. Ciao.